When a fabricated scandal threatens to dismantle the careers of a veteran Thai actor and his earnest co-star from India, they are forced to confront the harsh reality of fame, finding an unexpected sanctuary in each other's quiet affection, even as they lose everything else. Deo, a well-established and highly respected Thai BL actor. Known for his professionalism and calm demeanor, he has been in the industry for nearly a decade. The weight of his public image and the expectations of his fans, who have followed his career for years, has left him feeling isolated and cautious. Rohan, a passionate newcomer from Chennai, India, making his debut in a major international BL series. He is earnest, ambitious, and deeply respectful of the acting craft, but naive to the darker undercurrents of the fandom and the celebrity world. Rohan arrived in Bangkok like a storm, all energy and ambition. For a boy who grew up performing in community theaters and local films in Chennai, the city felt like a dream spun from gold and concrete. He'd spent years studying acting, watching Thai dramas online, and practicing his lines in a new language. Landing the lead role in Parallel Skies, a major international BL series, wasn't just a job, it was the culmination of his life's work. It was the promise of a future, a chance to prove his parents' sacrifices were worth it. His co-star, Deo, was a different kind of presence. He was the sun on a cool day, warm and reliable, but with a quiet distance. Deo had been in the industry since he was a teenager. He'd seen friends rise and fall, been through the intense pressure of shipping culture, and learned to build an impenetrable wall around his true self. He was a perfect professional, kind to everyone, but he never let anyone too close. For Deo, Parallel Skies wasn't a dream, it was a job he was good at, a way to provide for his family and keep a fragile peace. Their on-screen chemistry, however, was a force of nature. Deo, the senior actor, was the quiet anchor, while Rohan's raw, unfiltered enthusiasm was the rising tide. The camera loved it. In rehearsals, Rohan would burst into genuine laughter at Deo's dry wit, and Deo would find himself smiling back, a little more freely each time. He found Rohan's naivety, his sincere belief in the magic of the industry, both endearing and terrifying. He knew a storm was coming for the boy, and a part of him felt a quiet, desperate need to shield him from it. One evening, after a long day of shooting a particularly emotional scene, they were left alone in their shared dressing room. The scripted moment had been a tearful farewell, but the quiet that followed felt heavier. Deo, Rohan said, using the honorific out of respect, how do you do it? How do you turn it off? The feelings? Deo looked at him, his expression unreadable for a moment. You don't, he said, his voice soft. You just learn to build a different world inside you, one that's yours and only yours. The camera only gets to see what you give it. Rohan's eyes, full of a vulnerability he couldn't hide, looked down. I don't know how to do that. Good, Deo said, and for the first time, a genuine, warm smile reached his eyes. Don't ever learn. It makes your acting 100 times better. It was in these small, unscripted moments that their real bond formed. Deo would teach Rohan how to navigate a fan meet with a calming presence, and Rohan would show Deo pictures of his family back home, of the small temple near his house. Deo had spent years being a professional partner, but with Rohan, he found a real, unscripted friend. The calamity hit without warning. It wasn't a mistake or a careless comment, it was a deliberate, targeted attack. A well-organized anti-fan group, frustrated by the show's overwhelming popularity, released a series of doctored videos and fake screenshots. The footage, spliced and edited with malicious intent, showed Deo's calm guidance on set as cruel criticism, and a moment where he gently moved Rohan into position as a sign of physical aggression. They manufactured a full narrative of a toxic, abusive senior actor preying on a naive newcomer. The online firestorm was immediate and vicious. The show's production was halted, and their social media feeds, once a place of joy and praise, became a battlefield. Deo, the veteran, was horrified but not surprised. He had seen this before. He knew the cycle of online outrage. But Rohan had no armor. He sat on the living room floor of their shared apartment, his phone clutched in his hands, scrolling through the comments. Scum. Karma is a bitch. He's just using him. Rohan looked at Deo, his eyes wide and terrified. Deo, they're saying you're a monster. Deo sat next to him, gently taking the phone from his hands and placing it face down on the coffee table. The silence was deafening, a vacuum where the endless noise of the internet used to be. It doesn't matter what they say, Deo said, his voice firm. We know what happened. But my parents. Rohan choked out, tears finally breaking free. What are they going to think? This was supposed to be my big chance. We gave up so much for this. His body shook with the weight of it all. The career, the fame, the public's love, it was all dissolving. All they had left was the small, quiet space they had created together, away from the chaos. Days turned into a suffocating week. They were trapped, forbidden from speaking, the world outside waiting for them to break. They had lost their professional careers, the future they had worked for, and their privacy. But in that void, a new kind of intimacy formed. They no longer had a reason to perform. They were just two men, living through a shared nightmare. They watched movies in silence, cooked meals together, and found a quiet comfort in simply being near each other. One evening, Deo found Rohan sitting on the balcony, staring out at the blurred city lights. The boy looked broken, his shoulders slumped. Deo sat beside him, not saying a word, just offering a shared presence. After a long silence, Rohan turned to him, his eyes shimmering with unshed tears. Thank you, Rohan whispered. For not leaving. Deo's heart ached. He gently lifted his hand, his thumb tracing the curve of Rohan's cheekbone, wiping away a stray tear. It wasn't a touch for the cameras or for the show, it was an act of genuine, quiet affection. He saw the full spectrum of Rohan's vulnerability, the raw fear, the crushing disappointment, and the profound trust he had placed in him. Deo leaned in, his gaze fixed on Rohan's lips. Rohan didn't pull away. He leaned into the touch, his body relaxing into Deo's space. He saw the exhaustion etched on Deo's face, the deep-seated weariness of a man who had seen too much. In that moment, the scripted, professional smiles fell away, and all that was left was them. Deo's lips met Rohan's in a slow, deliberate press. It was not a grand kiss, not a passionate declaration of love. It was a kiss of quiet understanding, of shared solace in a world that had betrayed them. Rohan's hands, trembling slightly, came up to cup Deo's jaw, pulling him closer. He tasted of salt and sorrow, but also of a silent promise that they would get through this together. Deo's fingers threaded through Rohan's soft hair, tilting his head just slightly, deepening the connection. Every breath, every shift in pressure, spoke of a bond that had been forged in the fire of loss. They had lost their roles, their public image, their chance at fame. But they had found a single, irreplaceable truth in each other's arms, a real, unscripted love that was theirs and theirs alone. The world had taken everything from them, but it had given them each other.